y'all for doing that. Our next constituent is the Educator Researcher category. Dr. Richard Burke is ABS Professor of Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering at Maritime College. For us, it's better known as Fort Scholar. Previously, Richard has served as the Executive Director of the Maritime College's Global Maritime Center for Research, Development, Education, and Training, and he chaired the Maritime College Engineering Department for 12 years. Prior to returning to his alma mater in 2002, Richard taught at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, and following a number of years in the shipping and shipbuilding industries, worked as statistician at the U.S. Department of Energy R&D laboratory, supporting the Naval Reactor Program. He holds degrees from Maritime College, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. He is a fellow of the Royal Institute of Naval Architects, which we'll forgive him for, and a member of both the Society of Naval Architects and Marine Engineers and the American Statistical Association. Please welcome Dr. Burke.
Good morning. Before I launch into my little tirade here, I want to take a moment for a commercial. I want to put in my plug for the TNR program. As a third-class cadet at Maritime College, I was volunteered. Jose Femini is another guy you can't say no to. I was volunteered to be the student recorder for panel M19, which at that point was writing the second edition of the Code for Sea Trials. And I spent a year and a half or more working with M19. I traveled to their meetings. I was thinking yesterday, I was standing waiting for the bus at Washington National, which is now Reagan Airport. The first time I was ever there, I was coming to an M19 panel meeting. It was the first professional work I ever got to do. And it was the time when I realized that my education was really relevant, especially when members of the panel would turn around and ask me if they got the equation right. You know, the TNR program is extraordinarily important to this industry, but also to the society. And so for students especially, that's my plug. Forgive me if I'm a little bit cynical about what I'm about to say. It seems like everybody is so incredibly busy these days, and it seems to have been a very hard year, both professional, personally, and publicly. There's no good news. Have you noticed that? Three things that I was thinking about. What's making me angry? What's making me concerned? And what's making me wonder? I'm angry about the public lack of responsibility that's been displayed by some people in leadership positions in this industry worldwide. That includes situations like the Costa Concordia, the motor vessel Seawall in Korea, and then some others where officers, masters, chief engineers, owners, designers, all displayed a real public lack of responsibility, and it's really hurt the image of this industry worldwide. So I want to ask you something. When's the last time you read the canon of ethics for SNAME? It's something that we should be paying attention to more. I'm somewhat upset about sub-optimization. We've forgotten every lesson we ever learned about ship design. The ship is one element in a worldwide transportation system. You cannot optimize the ship to the disadvantage of the rest of the system. They teach us this in school. Just as a matter of comparison, if an 18,000 TEU container ship were to come into Port Newark, and in the unlikely event it was to discharge its entire cargo as 40-foot containers onto trucks, that would create three lanes of traffic on Interstate 95 extending from Perth Amboy, New Jersey to the Throgs Neck Bridge. Right? There's nothing optimal about economies of scale in this sense. Have we forgotten everything we ever learned? I'm also angry about the sort of lack of public support and our public image. If someone else tells me the United States doesn't have a merchant marine, the United States doesn't have a marine industry, I think I'm going to cry. You don't want to see grown men cry, by the way. What's got me concerned? I'm concerned that naval architecture and marine engineering are becoming less attractive career paths for young people. I'm seeing many, many young students, very good students, bright, capable individuals, and they're choosing not to go into naval architecture and marine engineering because they think it's too esoteric, it's too narrow, and it's too uncertain. And I think that's a problem that this industry has to face. Our future is perhaps abandoning us. And for those of you who are students, I have to ask you, are books obsolete? I'm discovering that students do not like to read the way I did. You know, I've been collecting books my entire life. I discovered students don't like books and they don't like to read them. You are focused on, it's not that you're not learning, it's not that you're, you know, it's just you do it other ways, and the focus is on the computer and on software and such things. I'm worried about how we're going to convey knowledge and judgment to you. It's going to have to be different than the way it's been. I'm also concerned about regulation. This is from a guy who ran a program where part of the curriculum was designed by the United Nations. It's not a pleasant thing. I think regulation has gotten somewhat too intrusive in what we do. EEDI is one example. It apparently is impossible to design a ROPAX ferry to meet the EEDI requirements. Also STCW, one of my pet peeves. It has become a political football. I'm really concerned about the role of regulation in the future. What's got me wondering? I'm really wondering about unmanned or at least shore-directed ships. I think it's coming. I think it's going to happen sooner than we think. What's it going to do to us as ship designers, as people who build ships, as people who maintain ships, as people who operate ships? What's it going to be like to have a world where those ships are essentially without an operating crew? I think it's going to happen. We haven't thought of that. I'm also concerned about what's going to happen with respect to, over the long term, registration of naval architects and marine engineers as professional engineers. It never was required of me in my career. It was something that civil engineers did. Naval architects didn't do it. I'm glad the society has taken a lead in terms of ABET and in terms of preparation for the FE and PE examinations. What I'm really concerned about is to what extent is the industry supporting this in terms of policies and hiring and so forth. I think we've got to be very careful about maintaining the profession. So there you have it. What's making me angry, what's got me concerned, what makes me wonder. I didn't quite know what to say for this talk, so I hope I've given you something to think about. Thank you.